And Rising Soul Fam. So, great news. Venus is finally going direct in Libra's 25th degree tomorrow, Friday, 16th of November. And it's been retrograde since the beginning of October. So this is great fucking news. And let's speak a little bit about the nature of Venus in its retrograde motions in Libra and Scorpio, just to briefly touch upon the evolutionary lessons it has brought to the surface. And then let's talk about the trine aspects that are coming late December, early January, that reflect the transmutation and the evolution and healing that Venus has gone through and that it now reflects in the collective. All right, so Venus is the circle of spirit above the cross of matter. It represents unity through love, overcoming duality through love and cohesion and harmony. So it represents love, beauty in relationships, aesthetics, beauty, whatever you find pleasing and harmonious to your nature is representative of Venus, that archetype. Wherever Venus is at by sign placement, colors what gives pleasure and what is enjoyable to that soul. If we're looking at the collective soul of Venus being in Libra and Scorpio, basically the collective has been learning about how to be in a relationship in a balanced way. This is Venus Libra. Libra is all about learning how to be in a balanced relationship in which you do listen to the needs and desires of another's, and you do answer their emotional needs, and you balance their emotional needs and desires with your own. This is why Libra is such a people pleaser, because they're trying to please and they're trying to be very mindful and conscientious of the other person's feelings and emotions and desires and needs. And Venus going into Libra has been, again, just wanting to seek these relationships, wanting to learn the evolutionary lessons of having balanced relationships. And then going into Scorpio is going deeper into the underworld, seeking the why, looking at our actual motivations, our actual agendas, our actual why and purpose as to why we're actually seeking relationships. So Venus Scorpio retrograde has been all about re-examining why we are seeking relationships, why we are desiring them, and really re-examining that basis. Because the evolutionary lessons of Venus are that of, one, self-love, because if you don't have self towards yourself and you don't have that appreciation towards yourself, how can you expect another to truly appreciate you if you can't truly appreciate yourself? If you're projecting your needs and desires onto another's and expecting them to make you feel whole and complete, that's not going to work out, because you're projecting, you're going to be expecting something out of them, you're going to be wanting something out of it. So your love, your quote unquote love or desire for wanting them to make you feel good is contingent upon them making you feel a certain way or fulfilling a certain desire, want, or need that they may or may not know about. So evolutionary lessons of self-love and self-sufficiency through actualizing self-love and self-worth are the evolutionary lessons of beauty, love, attraction / Venus. And this is why the law of attraction is ruled by Venus, because when we truly can love ourselves, when we truly see how beautiful and unique we are, others see that and others are attracted to that. But if we walk around the world like with no sense of worth and no sense of self-love, that lack thereof self-love is reflected in the relationships that we create. We will enter into relationships that don't respect us, that don't truly appreciate us. So during this time, we've all been learning how to truly appreciate ourselves and have an actual sense of self-love / self-worth / Venus, so that we can truly appreciate ourselves, feel whole and complete, have our own emotional needs and desires met, and so that we can enter into relationships in a balanced way, whole and complete, not expecting our needs and desires to be met by the other person, because we satisfy those ourselves, but entering into relationships in a healthy and balanced way as complete and whole individuals that support the independence of another instead of seeking to manipulate, to control, to possess / Scorpio in the area of Venus relationships. So these are the two evolutionary lessons of Venus, and it's to our typical nature. It's to our typical journeys through Libra, wanting to seek relationships, wanting to learn about relativity, and wanting to truly being in a relationship in a balanced way. And in Scorpio, examining the why, the purpose, the actual motivations and agendas behind our seeking a relationship. In this retrograde period, it's just basically going deep into the underworld of the self to truly unearth those unconscious contents within our own unconscious as to why we are seeking a relationship. So Venus in Scorpio has been creating this really tight opposing aspect with Uranus. Whether Venus was in Scorpio and Uranus was in Taurus, or Venus was in Libra and Uranus was in Aries, there's always been this close opposition between both of them. Remember, love, beauty, relationships is Venus. What is Uranus? The revolutionary of the cosmos, the universal mind that Aquarius streams through the knowledge that it streams and it connects and channels. That innovative, original, like breakthrough energy of Uranus has been in Aries, pushing all of us to become the revolutionaries, pushing us all to embody a personal identity / Aries that is a revolutionary and a channel for our inner genius, channeling from the cosmic mind, the universal mind / Uranus. This is what we're all experiencing. And this is why Venus at the other end, right at the opposite of Uranus, our relationships have been going through so many shifts, and why we've been examining our relationships that we create, our friendships, our partnerships, because we ourselves are letting go of the past. Remember, Uranus liberates us from the shackles of the past. The status quo is the opposite of Uranus. Uranus wants what's new and progressive, not the status quo and what's been established. So we've been letting go a lot of old conditioning, a lot of how we should be in relationships, or how we were taught, or how we picked up through society or culture or friends or family. Whatever ways we should or could or would, we're letting go, and we've let go. Because Uranus demands that we establish this new liberated, revolutionary personal identity, and this is being reflected in our relationships. So this has been the main theme between these two oppositions. Uranus Aries establishing a new personal identity that's a channel for the genius of the cosmic universal mind, and our relationships, Venus Scorpio, have been retransforming, shifting perpetually, reflecting the inner transformation happening as a result of Uranus / Aries. This opposition between Uranus and Venus has been forming a very tight square aspects with the lunar nodes. Basically, there's been this grand cross in the cosmos for about a month and a half to almost 2 months between this, this pull to become a revolutionary personality, Uranus / Aries. And through all this transformation in our relationships, Venus Scorpio retrograde, we're being pulled from the past, South Node, and we're experiencing this pull from the future evolutionary path, North Node. So through this context of becoming these revolutionaries and shifting and re-examining the associations, communities of friendships that we create and connect with, we've been in basically on the fence, like being tugged from the past, being pulled from the past, pulled back from the past, and being propelled and drawn to the future. This has been like a constant theme for all of us. Become the revolutionary, embody your own inner genius, have your relationships, friendships, partnerships reflect that frequency. And in that process, you're letting go of a lot of old ways of being, a lot of old ways that you used to create communities and networks. You're letting go of all that. All ancestry, like darkness, is being brought up Why do I say that? Because Mars was conjunct the South Node in Aquarius, which has to do with connections of networks and communities of like-minded individuals. And Mars was going through a transformation itself. And so this is the theme and the energy between these four indicators that have been constant throughout this whole time. Uranus Aries is creating the revolutionary. It has this embody, this genius, channeling the universal mind. Venus retrograde has been like re-examine the relationships, friendships, associations that you create, because they have to be aligned with this new personality you're establishing. And these lunar nodes have been like pulling us to our past and pulling us into our future, and we've been on the fence, and each one of us has been answering the call based on how we answer the call, based on your free will and how you act upon it and the choices that you make. So this has been the general nature of this energy. And so now that Venus is going direct in Libra's 25th degree, I see something interesting. Something interesting happens to Venus. It goes through a consistent amount of 4 trine aspects, just 4 trine aspects, with Mars in Pisces. So on the 31st of December, Mars is at the exact last degree of Pisces, and it creates a very close and tight grand trine aspect with Venus in Scorpio. Again, both those energies are just coming out of retrograde periods, coming into this harmonious trinity between each other. What does your intuition tell you? An alchemical transmutation of the masculine and feminine energies of the collective has been happening. Have you guys noticed how men have become more feminine and how women have become more masculine? I feel intuitively that this is like a rebalancing, and this androgyny like being established within our collective, between humans, within humans. We're learning how to balance these two masculine and feminine energies within. And come the 31st of December, they are in trine aspect with each other. And not only that, they're creating what's called a grand trine with the North Node in Cancer. So again, North Node, evolutionary path. In Cancer, establishing emotional security within. Creating a grand trine with the divine masculine, Mars, Pisces, union with Source. Venus, love, beauty, relationships. In Scorpio, emotional inner work. This is all trine aspects in the emotional inner body. And not only that, Venus also creates a trine aspect with Chiron in Pisces, with North Node in Cancer, and with Neptune in Pisces. So this is a lot of activation. Basically, Venus has been spiritualized. Venus is letting go of material desires and wants, and is being uplifted to this more spiritual alignment. Do you feel a lot lighter? Do you feel like you're a lot more aligned with your soul purpose? Do you feel like your sense of taste and aesthetics and love and beauty has been refined? This is Venus going through its own transmutation and finally getting out of that darkness and being hit with multiple blessings. Neptune in touch with the cosmic sea. Chiron, inner abilities to work with higher plane energies. Mars, the merging of the masculine and the feminine energies within. And the North Node, being able to work with our evolutionary path and creative art. So in other words, to sum this up, we're now going to be establishing new relationships from this very aligned space. And now that we've always established our sense of self-love, and through that we can attract people that will support us, people that will aid us in our own mission, and we will aid them in theirs. And this is generally the nature of what's going to happen now. Basically, there's been a mad cleansing on the emotional level for all of us, in terms of our close relationships and the networks and communities we create, and now we're reestablishing them from this more aligned space.